Hi, it's Rabbi Cass from the SoferCenter.com. Today I want to give an overview of the checking of Tefillin. So what exactly goes into the checking of Tefillin, just in a nutshell, and what exactly it entails. So there's the checking of the parshios, that's looking over the text inside. And then the main question which affects the price of the checking and how long the checking will take is what we do to the actual batim. So after we check the parshios and I put it back into the batim, just like this, we'll put the parshios into the compartments. There's two ways to close the tefillin. One is just to sew it closed with the gid, with the sinews, and then when it's closed, you see there will be a line along the base of the tefillin, just over there along the seam of where the tefillin opens. And that's called a regular checking and just sewing it back. That is something which can generally be done in the same day. However, if somebody wants to have the tefillin sealed, which in Hebrew means seal is sagur, which means closed, we call it a Segirah. If you want to have the tefillin sealed, basically what we do is we actually fill the crack, and you can see this is a tefillin which is already sewn. You can see it's sewn, and you don't see that line along the base of the tefillin. It's seamless. Now we fill that crack with leather, powder, sand it, paint it. It's a job. If you want that to be done, then the tefillin checking will typically cost a little bit more, and it will also require more time because I want to wait till the paint is properly dry. So tefillin checking, if you want to do same day, generally speaking, I'm going to offer just this. If you want to have it with the sealing, that it should be sealed properly and look like nice, then I would require it to stay here overnight, and I would give you one of my lovely tefillin to borrow, my loaner pair to borrow, until the next morning when you can come to pick up your tefillin. Now, are there any benefits to sealing the tefillin? I would say that there's two benefits with sealing the tefillin. The first one would be it does look a lot nicer. Okay, it's seamless, it's nice, it's pretty, makes the tefillin more beautiful. The second advantage is, I think to some extent, it does protect the parshios a little bit better. When you have the tefillin just sewn closed like this, there's much more, it's possible much more easily for things to get into the tefillin, dust, or just, to be affected from the elements. Now, with that being said, depending how often you check the tefillin, I'll either recommend to seal it or not recommend to seal it. If somebody's checking their tefillin on a yearly basis, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend me sealing it every single time, because every time we do seal it, we have to sand off a little bit from the tefillin in order to clean it up and repaint it, and eventually you could wear away the bias. Somebody who's checking the tefillin on a less frequently, let's say every 5-7 years, then there's no risk in sealing the tefillin really. And the truth of it is, even from a financial perspective, sealing the tefillin on a yearly basis is something, it's an extra expense which you would incur yearly, versus somebody who is only checking the tefillin every couple of years. So then you could say, even from like a financial perspective, it does make sense to seal it, because it's something which you're doing, you're paying extra, but it's something which you have for several years, and it does hold nice. Now, with that being said, sometimes you'll find that the seal along the base of the tefillin will start to open a little bit with time. That's something which is normal, and then usually that means it usually happens around the time when it's time to have the tefillin checked anyway. So that will be one of the signs I'll tell you. When you see the seal starting to open, it's probably time to have the tefillin checked.